This programme is brought to you by vinny.co.uk.
A very warm welcome back to our final match of the Champions League pool tonight. Stephen Jameson and Simon Webb still with you as Michael L tries to qualify out of this murderer's row that we have here. Group 8 of the Champions League pool has been so tough. It's been so tight all through the night, and now he's finally got the chance, Simon, to get himself out of there. He's had to work so hard to just get in this position, and he's still got a really tough job here in this last match. Yeah,
you'd say so far he hasn't really, hit top gear. He's had to kind of scrap away with, he hasn't broken that well, and he's had to sort of fight off scraps, but he's kept himself in there, and he now has the group qualification in his own hands. But he knows as well as anyone that he's up against a very good player in Dylan Leary, current European champion. He knows he's going to have to, play some good ball here to get through, but he also knows he just needs a point.
Yeah, he certainly does. That's the situation as it stands. Declan Brennan waiting in the wings should he falter. Those are the pre-night match odds between Dylan Leary and Mick Hill. I wonder what they'd look like if they were live. I think Mick Hill's odds might have just lengthened a touch. I don't think he's playing at what the bookmakers thought he might be. He spoke to us earlier and he explained why he's not played as much pool as he'd have liked. New format, not quite got used to it just yet. Used to the cut break, and again breaks dry. That's been the biggest issue, I think, for him. And throughout his matches, it's not just caused him an issue, but it's caused his opponents issues as well, in that his breaks haven't been all that great in not just making a ball, but also the splits. This is a bit awkward here. He prods down a yellow, or a red rather.
Yeah, I'm just looking back through my notes. I'm not sure. I don't think that Michael's had a chance off his own break for a clearance. I think every break has either been dry or he's fouled. That's how the break just hasn't worked for him tonight.
Yeah, it was a yellow that Dylan made. He is on yellows. Just threw me off there. Under a little bit of shot clock pressure here, having run out of position. Doesn't give Michael anything easy. Pots Michael's red.
Clever shot if you've played it, just to get that red at the bottom of the table off the table so that he isn't leaving anything on. Might just be able to cut this red in the middle of the table into the right centre pocket, but it's very thin. Could cut it back potentially to the top left corner. Playing up the table off the yellow, because thinking being that he could not be yellow safe or get the red in front of the 8 ball, but that hasn't happened. Chance is still here for Dylan Leary.
Just get the feeling if Dylan were to take the first frame, might just put a few jangles at Michael Hill. It's really difficult to chase in this format. We've seen that throughout the first 8 weeks of this tournament. The first match is actually so crucial. It gives you such a mountain to climb if you don't win it. And even within a game, if you're 2 frames down, it's very, very difficult to come back.
He's having a good look here. This looks tight, not on the one nearest the pocket. Not sure if there's enough room for this one. Yes, there is. Certainly the start that Declan Brennan was hoping to see.
Yeah, not the start that Michael Hill was hoping to, that's for sure. Declan Brennan's interest might have just peaked.
And that 8-ball completes the frame for Dylan Leary. He gets off to the best start with a 1-0 lead. Dry break from Michael Hill. It took 2 opportunities for Dylan to get the job done, but it was good safety to earn that second opportunity. And that has made things very interesting as we look to wrap up this night. And we can go and get a few words with Shane Thompson. He is now with Stephen Jameson.
Yeah, thank you, Si. Shane, a tough one for you tonight. It just shows, though, in this format and in this tournament, the margins are just so fine, aren't they?
Yeah, it's brutal. I played a bit of a slack shot to leave me at the double, but he's played a good shot, but it's one of them. It's probably like a 1 out of 8, 10. But yeah, that last frame against Deck, then I just finished 2 straight on my last yellow and left myself a tough double, but that's the way the game goes. So pick myself up and come back again.
Have you enjoyed the night, even though it has ended ultimately in disappointment? You drew yourself the worst possible group in terms of the talent you had to play, but it's a format that does force dramatic matches.
Yeah, I mean, like, we all play the game to play the best players, and obviously to be the best, you've got to beat the best. So, like, I didn't mind tonight at all. Would like to have got a bit more run, but that's the way it goes. But yeah, it's been great. Obviously with lockdown and everything like that, not really much competition going on. A few lockdown games and a bit online, but like that. Yeah, happy to be back playing properly.
Yeah, and you seem to give us some glimpses as well, some of your best stuff as well. The second match in particular seems to play really well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really normally play this quick, but yeah, I didn't mind the 20 seconds. Obviously the 15 seconds creeps up on you a bit, but apart from that, yes, it's fine.
Well, it's been great to watch you, Shane, and we hopefully welcome you back very, very soon as well.
Thank you very much, cheers.
Back to you, Si.
Oh, good to hear from Shane. Obviously disappointed, not his night tonight, but he will be back. Fantastic player. Great to see him on Free Sports. Try break this time from Dylan Leary, and it's Michael Hill with the first opportunity. Dink the yellow below the 8-ball goes to the corner, and that in turn would open up the 8-ball.
Yeah, a chance here for poor Michael. It's there for him. I also feel like we might be a little bit guilty of judging Michael's standards a little bit too harshly. I feel like most other players came in and played the way he's played tonight. We'd be talking about how well he's played, but I think we are so used to such a level. The 6-time world champion. It appears that he's not been at his best. He's struggled a little bit. He's grafted through. Some of the shots he's played tonight have been absolutely outstanding. He's still, he still won 2 games against really good players.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, you do, because he's 6 times world champion. You expect, a lot of clearances, but he just hasn't had those sort of chances tonight. He's, as we've already said, he hasn't had I don't think he's had a chance off his own break yet. So he's always having to almost work off scraps or dry breaks himself. So, he hasn't made that many mistakes, but he has had to work hard, and it has been very tight for him all the way.
It's a great clearance that, though. It was Michael Hill at his very best. Squares things up. He'll be pleased with that. He would not have wanted to go 2-0 down, I can tell you that for free. Dylan Leary still very much in this, and You can see with the way he approached that first frame, he is desperate for a win here. He would love to be the man who forced a 6-red shootout. You get that sort of sense. Just a reminder of the sort of man he's dealing with, though. Michael Hill, 6-time world champion, currently on for a 4-peat. After he's already done the 3-peat, so we'll have to call it a 4-peat whenever he competes in it next. He's some player.
Yeah, one of the last 3 times.
He's moved this break around so many different times. Gone cut break from the left, cut break from the right. There's the front on break. Didn't connect with that very well as well. And the good indicator, this is how high this white ball goes. Have a watch. You see this beautifully in slow motion. Always an indicator that the break hasn't been contacted very well. If we saw a similar slow motion camera from the side, it'd actually probably show the white sort of skipping down the table, wouldn't it? And that's what causes it to go airborne.
Yeah, exactly. The ball, when you're hitting it from the cushion with power, you're going to be bouncing the ball down the table. You can only kind of see it in super slow motion, and you catch that bounce wrong. You don't get the power going through the packing quite the same way. I'm not sure why it's not worked for Michael Hill tonight, but he has tried everything. He has moved for different spots, different areas, trying to make the break work, but for whatever reason, the break just hasn't been his friend tonight. The fact that he's had no luck off the break at all, and yet he still has qualification in his own hands, is actually really impressive.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think that's the sort of thing that, with the break in particular, it's the sort of thing that can be a little bit form and rhythm orientated?
Yes, it can be. I think if you're playing well and cueing well, you kind of get through the ball better, and therefore you can break better. But I also think that there is luck in the break. Yes, there's a lot of skill in the break, but there's a lot of luck as well, and you can have a night where the break, for whatever reason, just doesn't work for you. You can't find a spot that works.
This is a key shot here for Dylan. He needs a good angle on this next shot, and just from his reaction there, I'm not sure he's got one. This final red, that's currently tied to this yellow, has been a problem all the way through the break.
Needs the white to pull up. I think he's just about okay.
Oh, this is tight. It was so fine to land on. Might have to tickle it in off the yellow, maybe. No, he could get the potting angle. That's a great shot. Well, it could be a really interesting finale tonight. It really could be. Dylan Leary clears up to go 2-1 up.
Try break punish this time.
Just as it was in the last frame as well. Yeah. Whoever breaks first well, I feel like in this match, may get the run at getting to 4 frames first. This is Lethal Leary, originally from over the water, but now he's been based in England for a while, lives in High Wycombe. And you can see his accolades, even in 2019, this is recent stuff. He's the reigning European champion, reigning All-Ireland champion, won the Premier League in 2018 on the UK tour. He's really, really good player. And he's shown tonight glimpses, but similarly to Mick, he's not had, particularly his first 2 matches, he didn't really get the run of the balls in terms of chances. Didn't really do much wrong. He was eliminated essentially after 2 matches, having played 1 missed pot, and it was a double. Had barely put a foot wrong.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He hasn't made hardly any mistakes tonight. He really hasn't. He just hasn't had the same number of chances.
And he's broken well as well. This is what we talked about in the first couple of matches. He's actually broken probably the most consistently, maybe along with Declan, all evening wrong. And he's not always had the run of the balls when it comes to having a chance to clear. This, though, is a chance. A good break, good split. Only one down, but a chance.
Yeah, it's not, that last shot's just not worked out overly kindly for him. Yellow nearest the bottom left-hand corner. Obviously doesn't go. Not sure it doubles in either the middle or the corner pocket.
His big problem ball is on the other side of the table. How does he solve that?
Yeah, I was just trying to work that one out, seeing if there's a way of developing it, but it's just, there isn't an easy way of developing it at all. I wonder whether he could leave an angle on the yellow in the triangle area to try and go into it, but even if you've managed to get into it, you're not going to develop it in any way. I just don't see how he's going to work it out. And the longer he leaves it, the harder it's going to get.
Don't think it doubles either. I think there's a red just above the triangle spot blocking its route to the middle. There's a red below the triangle, it's blocking its route to the opposite corner pocket.
Might be more chance in the middle than the corner, but it does look tight. Well, he was playing for the double, so he was going double-double to finish.
Academic now, of course. Should be routine now for Michael Hill, but it could be an interesting finish. 8 minutes to go. Michael Hill here trying to square things up. There's not long left in this match, and I think it's going to go down to 0.
Can't see either player getting to 4, can you, the way it's gone? Obviously always the chance of the golden break, but
next frame's going to be so big, really is. That's based off the assumption that Michael clears these up, which he should do from here.
I wish we had a camera on Declan. He'll be watching in the back somewhere. Each player gets given a table to practice on in the other room, so it's all separated out. I'm sure he'll be watching from a distance.
Two. Just less than 7 minutes to go. It's getting a little bit tense. It's not all over yet. Next break is big. It's Mick who has it. This is the current standings. A reminder. Declan Brennan currently tops the table alongside Mick Hill. If Hill doesn't win or draw and gets no points from this match, it would leave Dylan Leary on 2 points, Shane Thompson on 2, and Michael and Declan both on 4, and force a 6-red shootout. We haven't had one yet. This would be the first group to go that far, were it to happen. And Dylan would love to be the man to cause such havoc.
I have to say, with 6 minutes 50 left on the clock, if Michael can get a ball and then get a chance, then he's going to have 1 foot in the next round, because Dylan would have to win 2 frames, wouldn't he?
Oh, and he hasn't made a ball.
But he's dry again. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
He's trying everything. So what's the reaction of the great man?
Well,
that says it all, doesn't it?
For my money, I think that's 8 breaks, 7 dry, 1 fouled. I mean, it's not been his night on the break at all.
That's outrageous.
And he still has qualification in his own hands. It's incredible, really.
That is remarkable. That's a lovely shot from Dylan.
It's another tough finish that Dylan's going to take on here, though.
Yeah, it's not difficult, and it's not easy, sorry. And the more difficult it gets, the longer down he goes. This rabbit hole of a clearance, the easier it could get for Michael to swoop in. That's quite a clever shot, actually, from Dylan. He's missed it, but it's not a bad leave in that sense. It's about as good as he could have left it. It's a clever shot to move this yellow out. If he makes it, everything's out in the open for him. But as it is now, it's not a terrible leave.
Just don't think that, yeah, just watching it, that yellow didn't, if that yellow had covered the pocket completely, I'd have agreed with you, but that red going past the yellow really helped. Although you could see in Michael's reaction, he really wanted that yellow to get further away and not block the 8 ball. Yeah, the 8 ball's still a big problem because it doesn't go into either bottom corner. And this is going to take some figuring out, and Michael's not got a lot of time to do it. There's few better brains in the game than his, but it's testing every sinew of it, isn't it? It's just difficult when you're used to having as much time or more time. You know, I suspect he's probably never played with a shot clock less than a minute before. It's just hard to suddenly, you know, it's all right when they're wide open and you just have to work through your pattern. But when you've got to work out how you're going to develop your balls, which order you're going to take them in, you know, how am I going to get on the 8 ball? 20 seconds all of a sudden just feels like no time at all. Yeah, we heard Shane talk about that, didn't we? That's a good shot. Has it just gone far enough to be able to drop it in the middle? If it has, then it's really good. If it hasn't, then it's a problem. That is, well, it's a lot harder than it looks from our camera, I can tell you. Yeah, that looks really tight. Looks like it goes. Is he taking it all the way to the bottom of the table? He is. It's not a bad pot, that, is it? Needs to get an angle on his final reds, which means he can be on the 8 ball. He's too straight on this one to be able to get across the table. It's not a bad go. You can see what he's tried to do, trying to top through off the jaw. Yeah, I'm just wondering whether the 8 ball goes to the bottom right-hand corner. He had a quick glance at it earlier on in his visit, and he's come round to have another look. So that jaw, getting the cue ball out, what, 3-4 inches, if this 8 ball does go, was a great shot. And the fact that he's played it, yes, it has. That's just a brilliant couple of shots to get to this position. Does it sneak through? Does he have to play it off for yellow? No, it's threading the needle stuff. Would you believe it? Operated on the assumption all frame long that the 8 ball was a big problem. It turns out that actually Michael Hill could do that. That overhead though, look how tight that was. What a finish that is. He was in awkward position pretty much from ball 1 in that visit. He couldn't quite get to perfect position and he was always chasing it. So brilliant stuff, and to use the jaws to get straight and to be able to then make the next 2 pots, brilliant stuff. That was probably his best visit of the night, when he was probably under the most pressure he's been under all night. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And you know, we talk about big game players doing the best things at the best times. You know, the pot down the rail wasn't particularly easy, just to give himself any kind of chance of getting that clearance. The one to open those 2 reds up on the rail was difficult before that. That was a high tariff clearance just when he needed it the most. And now Dylan Leary needs to win 2 frames in 2 minutes and 50 seconds to stop Michael Hill qualifying. That is going to be a tough task. It's a sledgehammer of a break though. Well, he's got half a chance. This could go. Well, he's probably saying to himself, where was this break earlier? Wow, what an effort, what a break, and what a split. This has just kept things very interesting. Yeah, this could, if Dylan gets a wiggle on here, this could go in 30-40 seconds.
Well, Michael Hill needs to make a ball off his next break. That's what needs to happen. If Michael comes up dry, we could have a really dramatic finish. And he's had a bit of a penchant for coming up dry.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time, really, when you consider, you know, what in this black goes in. It's going to be over a minute and a half.
It's a great clearance from Dylan Leary. A fabulous break and dish. 137 then. And just by the numbers, just purely by the numbers, 20 seconds a shot, you need to pot 8 balls, it's 1 minute 40. You know, there is plenty of time, should Michael break dry here, for Dylan to clear.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If he can find a ball, which he hasn't done yet tonight, but if he can find a ball, all he needs is 3 or 4 open balls, and then he can just pot them, or, you know, doesn't even have to think about a finish, just pot 3 or 4 balls, play safe, job done.
I think the two of them are sharing a bit of a laugh and a joke out there. I don't think Mick can believe how his luck has gone with the break tonight. And I think he's saying something along the lines of course, it's come down to me needing something off my break, which has let me down all evening long.
Yeah, he probably thought when he made that last clearance to go 3-2 up that his job was done. But Dylan came up with such a massive break that it was, you know, he was able to wrap that up in 45 seconds or so. Impressive stuff. Big moment.
Yeah, and he's using a decent amount of shot clock too, which is also wise. Needs a ball. He's not contacted that too well, but he has got a ball. Would you believe it? It's probably the worst break he's hit all night. Is it a foul break?
I was going to say, we're going to see a replay here, because this, I don't think he's got the 4 points.
Drama. We're going to have a bit of VAR in a second. 1, 2, 3.
And one down. I think he's okay.
But was the one that went down one that went above the line already?
So it's a 4-point rule. We've had this a couple of times tonight, of course. A point for every ball potted, a point for every ball past that centre line, and a ball can only count once. This might take a couple of replays for Viv to work this one out. No, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fine. They're all having a good discussion about it out there now.
One red, one yellow, one red, and the yellow up into the middle pocket. There's 4 points. He's just okay. I mean, he's very nearly not okay.
I think they're debating whether the ball goes past the centre line to hit that jaw. I think it has to. So it's a legal break. He got there in the end.
Oh, he got away with that one. Did Michael. And he giving his a wry smile as well, he might, really.
Well, that would have summed up the way he's been breaking tonight. If he finally makes a ball off the break and then it's a foul break. It's not that easy, though. He hasn't. Does this ball go? No, a ball didn't go. Oh, he's found a plant in the middle. Brilliant.
He just wants to chew as much clock as possible just to stop Dylan from having the chance to clear. Oh, he's really had to do it the hard way, Michael Hill. He really has. Full credit to Dylan Leary for giving him a big old scare in this match. He will qualify by the skin of his teeth. He's had to play really well tonight, take absolutely nothing away from that. Michael Hill has played some really, really good pool. But goodness me, he's had to work hard. 11 seconds off. Dylan Leary getting the ice skates around the table. He's not quite going to have enough time. And he shares a bit of a laugh and a joke as well. And he concedes. Well, a great game to end on. Two top quality players, and Michael Hill gets over the line. Goodness me, that was a close one. Well, it's set us up, hasn't it, for an absolutely fantastic quarter-final stage. We've got 8 players left now, in the Champions League pool. We'll work out a little bit later on how many combined world titles they have between them, but it's a fair few. It's such a good lineup, and Mick Hill has had to work so hard just to be a part of that. A word on his performance tonight, Simon.
Yeah, he's had to work hard because he didn't break his best. You could see that, you know, I don't think just that last break was the first time he'd had a ball off his break and an opportunity off his break, and they didn't open up and they didn't split. But he's had to work hard. All his matches have been tight, but he's had to grind. He's played a couple of really good safeties and then a couple of really good counter clearances. He has played some great pool tonight. It's just we've seen him play such amazing pool where he makes finish after finish after finish that we kind of almost feel like he hasn't. But he really has played a great night of pool, and you know, and he was pushed by 3 other great players as well.
Yeah, wasn't he just? A great night here in the Champions League. Michael Hill will qualify through to the quarterfinals. We will hear from the 6-time world champion when we come back.
This programme is brought to you by vinny.co.uk.
Well, a very warm welcome back to the Champions League pool here on Free Sports. This is how it stands after a really entertaining night in the final group of our group stages. Michael Hill tops the table, but he had to do it the hard way, a battling draw against Dylan Leary in our final match to crawl over the line. He's had to do it the hard way, but he is in the quarter-finals. He joins me now. Michael, huge congratulations. It was a graft tonight, wasn't it? It wasn't quite going all your own way. You had to play some brilliant pool. You had to hang in there at times. Talk us through your emotions.
Yeah, and I was just pleased to get through. As we said from the start, you know, the group of death, as it was labelled on Facebook, and I'd say it was really good. Whoever would have come through tonight, I'm pleased to get through, but it was just nice that after everything that's gone on with the pandemic, no pool to be played, you know. So first I want to thank everybody at the team here, because whether it be me, Dylan, you know, Shane or Declan, you'd have had a top player going through. So, you know, that completes the 8 groups as such. It's just nice to be playing. I do go through stages where I have a bit of love-hate with the game. I was driving up today and I felt like I really wanted to play and I enjoyed it, and I didn't really play with nerves because I just wanted to have fun. And it was fun in a different type of way. It wasn't fun where I was getting breaks where they were all going over the pocket. It was one of those days where it was a grind, stick in there, sort of take your chances. I think I had 9 breaks. And I think up until the last rack, I hadn't potted one, or it was a foul or something. I felt like I was hitting them okay. But a lot of these lads cut break now, the second ball down, and they do it so well. It's never been something I've found really natural. I find it really uncomfortable to cut break. So then I've resorted back to the front ball break. But you know, when they're breaking as well as that, you know, they're really good players anyway. But, you know, you're up against it, you know, with the break and obviously the format's really tough. You know, I don't think I'm the slowest player, but I'm not the quickest player either. And, you know, a mate of mine, Rob Chilton, said, you know, when I played, the clocks, you know, a bit menacing, and it was tonight. It really highlighted how difficult it was under the shot clock.
So with all that said, you know, back into the game, a night that you might not have enjoyed at one stage or other in your career, but a night that you threw, how pleased are you now to enter that quarter-final stage? Because you look at the 7 other names in that, it's really set up to be a real showstopper. Yeah, well, you get that. I think I played 2 weeks' time, maybe 3. So I get that couple of weeks off. So again, you can sort of go back and watch the other lads sweat it out a little bit. But all top players that have gone through. And, you know, interestingly for me, I always look at the likes of Phil Harrison and Chris Melling, the lads that I've grown up playing, and you're thinking, well, they're through. You want to get through. You want to play them again. You want to just have that little battle going on. I'm not sure if I'm in Chris's or Phil's group. Chris's group.
I'm in Chris's, well, yeah. So, you know, we grew up together playing, and I'm sure we'll have a good slugfest again next time we're back on.
Yeah, can't wait for that match under shootout rules for the first time. Well, look, it's been fantastic to watch you tonight, Michael. Congratulations on the win.
Cheers, thanks.
And let's look at those groups then. As Michael just said, it's been some tournaments so far, and this is group number 1, Simon, the one that Michael isn't in, but it's nevertheless a very, very tough group to get out of, isn't it?
Yeah, some big names come through there. Josh Kane, Aaron Davis, Phil Harrison and Neil Rayburn, all four come through in fine style, and some big names. Phil Harrison obviously won the World Championships fairly recently. Neil Rayburn's been right to the top of the IPA rankings. Aaron Davis was in the World Championship final only a year or so ago. So there's some big names in that first quarter-final, and we'll see that next week.
Yeah, it really is a top lineup, that. And in terms of the second group, the one that Michael has qualified into, it doesn't get any easier by any stretch of the imagination. Sean Storey has been superb, hasn't he, since we resumed playing pool after lockdown. He went deep in our Super Series on Free Sports, looked excellent in that group against Chris Day, Tom Price and Eddie Barker. Dave McNamara looked outstanding coming through group number 6. And then, of course, Chris Melling and Michael Hill, two of the best players around at the moment. It is such a good quarter-final lineup. It really is all set to be some finale to this Champions League pool. This is how it's going to work. We're going to have one quarter-final next week. It'll start with the group 1 to 4 as we just saw there. Then the second quarter-final. 2 will qualify from each into a final knockout night. Oh, can't wait, Simon.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. I think the one match where I think that a lot of people are going to be looking forward to it is going to be Michael Hill versus Chris Melling. That's two of the biggest names that there ever has been in the pool world, and we're going to get to see them in that second quarter-final group. So I'm really looking forward to that. But all 8 players that have made it through have been absolutely fantastic and deserve their place, and there's some big names. And yeah, I think the other thing we could look forward to in the quarterfinals is the fact that because it's 2 to go through from the group stages, I think there's a fair chance that we're going to see a 6-red shootout in either or in one of the 2 quarterfinals, which should be really exciting for us. Maybe not so much for the players, but certainly for us watching. Yeah,
we're gradually sort of ticking them off, aren't we? We've had the golden break. We've now had a golden duck. At some point, I'm sure we'll have that 6-red shootout. Well, ladies and gents, that'll just about do us here from Newcastle under Lyme here. It's been an absolutely brilliant night in the Champions League pool. We've still got 3 more to come, 2 quarterfinals and finals night. That is all to come. Do keep them in your calendar and join us next week where we get underway with quarterfinal number 1. From myself and Simon and all the team here, we'll see you soon.
This programme is brought to you by Vinny.co.uk.